What we do here is go back.
Hello and welcome to episode 2 of the Lost Media podcast. Today I bring you some of my own lost media. Yes. So I'm sorry. I'm actually genuinely sorry. This is this is a movie that I made back in 2011, January 2011, and I've been looking for it since. It's the only piece of lost media from all the things I made as a kid. A lot of you may not know this, but you probably already do. I've been into the media and into making movies and making TV shows and making YouTube videos and all sorts of stuff since I was about 8 years old. And this is the only thing I've lost. It's called Trouble in Chinatown, and it's a play on words of the movie Big Trouble in Little China. And I remember what it was. I remember watching the movie and I remember filming the movie, but I don't know where it is. And I've only been able to find music I used for the movie, which is the Kung Fu fighting theme. Copyright infringement, by the way. That's very bad. And what I'm playing in the background, if you're wondering, by the way, is a movie I made a year later with my family friends. The same family friends I made Trouble in Chinatown with. And I'm going to be sending this to you, Adam, who I do the Roast podcast with. Subscribe to the Roast podcast, guys. Subscribe to Only Talk. Both are in the description. Yes, so this lost media is something I've looked very hard for in the past. I actually learnt how to crack software that's valued at like $150 just to go through an old hard drive that was broken to try and find this show. And I thought it was on the hard drive. I was like, yes, I figured it out. I'm going to find Trouble in Chinatown. I'm finally going to get this show. It's a shitty little movie I made when I was like 12. But anyway, I was just, sure I was going to find it, and I didn't find it. I went through like 2,000 videos in that hard drive, and none of them were Trouble in Chinatown. And the hype was real back in 2018. And even since, the hype has been real with me and my family friend Adam, who I've known my entire life. This movie that we made when we were 11 years old, we want to watch the freaking movie. We want to see it again. It's been too long. In terms of movies I made with these family friends that I've known my whole life, Adam and his brothers, this is the most high quality thing we made. The thing that's playing in the background is garbage. It was some shitty thing I just threw together on a whim, and it wasn't properly edited. This thing was actually edited. It had a storyline, and I'm going to explain the storyline, and you're all going to just think, oh, geez, why even bother to find your own lost media? But yeah, that's fair enough. The storyline goes, it's a bit of an embarrassing one, but there's two guys there's a bad guy and there's a good guy. And the bad guy's, he's on the loose, but the good guy's always catching up to him and fighting him. And he's actually, he's never been on the loose. The good guy's just been fighting him the entire movie. And I don't understand what I was thinking. I don't know it's like 10 minutes of just fights between these two dudes in, my backyard. One of the cool parts of this movie is I used to have a cubby house when I was little, just back there in the backyard, and it was enclosed. It started as a cubby house that was like open, and then it was built as an enclosed room and like two really, really tiny rooms. And it was so cool. I loved it when I was a kid. And this was filmed in that cubby house. It was demolished like 3 years after this movie was filmed. And I would love to just watch footage of that cubby house, of us filming something in there. One of the scenes, I remember 2 scenes from the movie. I know that there was more than 2 scenes. There was like 4 scenes and about 10 minutes of this homemade shitty movie I made when I was a kid. one of the scenes is my family friend Adam. Far out. He's doing the news. He's the news anchor, and he's literally sitting there, and he's like, "Welcome to the news." And look, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I like to think this is pretty creative because I didn't know special effects and how to just put a video in the corner, like next to him. Still didn't know how to do that when I was 11 years old. Instead of just playing a video in the corner of like the good guy and the bad guy were seen fighting in this back alley, and we had our news anchor to film it, we're literally fighting behind him while he's presenting the news in the same room, which I think is kind of clever. Of course, I look back and I'm like, that's pretty clever. And he's literally, he's sitting there like presenting the news, and he's literally saying, "Welcome to the news." It was actually pretty well set up. I know I said that just then already, but look, I like to think that there was a bit of creativity happening here, and there was something unique about this. I'm pretty sure the scene starts actually with him just presenting the news, and then we come through like the trap door behind him and just start fighting. But we're both like going down the ladder, and then we start fighting. It's just this stupid like we're fighting, and then there's an intermission, and then we're fighting again. That's one of the scenes I remember. I think I'm actually holding an Xbox remote, and there's all sorts of meta shit with this. I think I just go, "Enough out of you," and I pause, and he just freezes presenting the news, and then we're just fighting, and I'm like, "Oh, okay, keep presenting the news," and I press play, and he continues presenting the news, and I'm in the background, he's in the foreground. Very stupid. The only other scene I remember was the pool. I remember recording it, and my family friend Matt was just like, "Just push me in the pool. Just do it." I remember this. I remember this very well. I couldn't remember this for a long time, and now I remember after hearing that he went in the pool. He was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Are you sure? You're wearing jeans and you got a long drive home." He's like, "Yeah, no, just push me in the pool. It'll be funny for the movie." And so the last sequence is him being pushed in the pool. Bad guy loses, good guy wins. He saves the day. That's the end. Don't know what it's got to do with Chinatown, or why it's meant to be like Big Trouble in Little China, or why it's called Trouble in Chinatown. The title makes zero sense. But yeah, this is this is definitely one of my favorite memories of a home movie I made when I was a kid. I made about 5 or 6 of them when I was like 9, 10, 11, 12. But this was back in the days where I was actually putting proper creativity into them. I wasn't just making them because I was like, oh, I got to make a home movie before the year ends, so it counts that I made a movie this year, or some shit like that. And it's just this rushed piece of garbage, which is what you're watching behind me right now. This actually had a lot of creativity, had a lot of thought, a lot of planning put into it, and we had a lot of fun filming it. Adam still says to me, he still says that was actually really fun to film compared to the other ones, which is just like, there's no, preparation, or there's no good scenes. It was just you fall into that bush and like cut yourself open. It was just so stupid. I was like, I don't know what I was thinking. But yeah, Trouble in Chinatown, guys. It's a classic. And I've looked through my old hard drive that didn't work. I've looked through all my other hard drives. I've looked through my mum's old computer, not on there. I think it got deleted by accident, or it just got corrupted, the file, and just disappeared from the computer. It's one of those two. I don't think it exists anymore. Although I do remember using Windows DVD Maker vaguely and putting it on a DVD. I vaguely remember doing that and having, that generic Windows DVD Maker on Windows Movie Maker, that startup menu with the title in Arial font and the play and scenes option. By the way, that was the coolest thing ever as a kid, that you could make your own DVD, put it in a DVD player, and it was your own home movie. That was the sickest thing ever. Well done, Windows. Fire, it's powered by Windows. Anyway, guys, it's some cringe shit I made as a kid, but if I'm able to find it again, I'll make an update video to this one. And I'm sure you guys have some lost media of your own of a movie you made when you were a kid that you'd love to find one day on an old VHS tape or an old DVD, depending on how old you are. or just as a file on a computer. This is something that if I was able to use some sort of software that's like locates all files that have been on a computer, if they're all logged on a computer. I still have the laptop that I edited this thing on. I've still got that. I still got, I think, the other laptop that I edited my other stuff on. If it wasn't that one, I'm pretty sure it was my mum's old computer though. If there's a program that maps out all files that were on a computer or any files that have been deleted, I'm definitely going to try and look into using that sort of software because, yeah, I'd love to find that. I've just looked at how long this video is and I know that, not a video, a podcast, and I know that people are losing interest already as I continue this. If I find this, as I said, I'll do an update video and I'll probably review it on the Roast podcast. We'll do a live reaction to it on the Roast podcast. Which needs new episodes, by the way, Adam. I want to record another one again. I want to record one through OBS like this because this is the coolest setup and I've only just got this. And it's allowed me to start this series again properly and make videos, make as many as I possibly can. Like I say at the end of every video, guys, suggest something in the description if you want me to cover something badly that you're interested in that's anything lost media. It doesn't have to be a movie, TV show or video format. It can be a lost picture. It can be anything. I'm not going to talk about the lost Jeff the Killer image because I don't know any other ways of how to find that just as much as anyone else does. And I think that's going to be found soon and discovered what that is. But yeah, I'll talk about the Jeff the Killer image. I don't care. I'll talk about anything. Give me your suggestions. That's been another 2 Lost Media specials. I've reverted back to my original self. It's the Lost Media podcast now. Thanks for watching, guys. End this.
Big gun.